Hi, I'm Anatole, and this is my reaction video for Westworld Season 3, Episode 1, titled Parce Domine. Meaning of that is, Spare Lord, spare your people, be not angry with us forever. The episode scored 8.7 on imdb.com, and that's with 2,200 votes. Now, before we begin with the reaction, a couple things. First is, I've seen Season 1 and Season 2, and I finished rewatching Season 1 last night. And before recording Episode 2, I hope to finish watching Season 2. And then the second thing of note, as I record this, throughout the world we are dealing with coronavirus pandemic. And as a result of that, YouTube offices are closed, so the automated bots are in charge of reviewing videos for content ID blocks. Now, a reaction video should legally be exempt from a content ID block. Reaction video is not the same legally as simply rehosting of the original content. And when there's an issue with this, there is a process that YouTube allows the content creators to go through, and usually it rules in favor of the content creators. However, I'm already hearing reports from other people who do reaction videos that there's a lot of hassle. So there is the chance that you are watching this months after the debut of the episode. I hope that's not the case, and I hope that you are viewing this the week that the show aired. And if not, I hope it was at least posted the week that the original episode aired. So that's where we are. And I hope you're doing well, by the way, dealing with the difficult times that all of us throughout the world are in right now, unfortunately. With that past, after the intro, please join me when I'll give you my reaction to Westworld Season 3, Episode number 1. Are they giving us introductions now for the location? If that's the case, does that mean there's going to be a lot of spread to this show now? Like people all over different parts of the universe and the world?
I don't care about chef or dinner.
Kind of rude.
I pay you so I don't have to wait in any lines. Get it done.
Basically, guys at Delos and girls are all assholes. Pardon my French.
System. Tell security we've done it.
Of course.
Siri, tell them good night.
Turn off the light.
Feeling a little chilly. They're targets because he's in Delos. That doesn't bode well for him. I'm trying to find out who this actor is. Thomas Kretschmann? Thomas Kretschmann? What the heck? Well, they didn't kill him. That means they need him for something. I'm worried about his significant other. She didn't have a mask on.
You turn up with him too.
What the heck is going on?
He tried to leave. It's hard to break on.
How'd she get down there? She's not Batman. This all some sort of psycho game? Psychotrope game? Ha ha ha! Indeed. What's her plan? I still think she needs something from him.
What do you want from me?
Same thing everybody wants from you, Jerry. Money.
Sign over rights to something.
I haven't been here for the last of my kind. For now.
Is this a flashback? If she says she's the last, but we know she's already made to others. Is this a flashback for how she started? Okay, yeah, it does look like the show's going to be wider in scope than before, and they're going to give us locations before we jump to a new place.
That's what you always said. That we needed a plan. Glad to see you taking my advice.
So what's the history between these two guys? Feels like there's going to be more. It's talking like a parole officer.
Son.
She says he's not her son. She could be honest. She could be telling us something we don't know.
Nothing too heavy. No personals. A to B's. Some redistributive work.
Redistributives mean transfer money from one person to another. Forcibly transfer, aka steal.
He already stipulated a machine shareholder as proxy, and the machine and I are in agreement. Aren't we? Proposition approved. Then it's decided.
Rubber
We
stamp.
resume Host Productions, and in particular, who orchestrated that massacre, murdered our founder and most of the board in cold blood.
Do I hear a William?
Bernard Lowe.
Oh, Bernard.
Come with me. Tomorrow. And head back to the States.
What is his
That's how it works.
backstory?
Right.
If you don't try, it definitely won't work.
So is his friend now at this point a computer AI designed to help him with his therapy process?
What did I say?
And it shows his emotions when he's feeling them.
World to be a kid.
You're just in the right place at the right time. Thanks to my dad, we have the best AI.
Your dad is important, I'm sure. So who's the father?
When I was a kid, I used to worry that my father cared more about this thing than me. When I grew up, I realized it wasn't even close.
Meaning he cares so much about that thing he doesn't even care about his son. I don't think we've ever had a car chase before on Westworld.
It would be an inconvenience to kill you, but we'd have your daddy's system to help us strategize how to deal with it.
He's not the time or the place to make something out of that.
Not what they say. It's complicated.
I don't think so.
They don't even know what they're dealing with.
We're not the ones who need to be saved.
Really, he's not going to fight back. So much for collecting the bounty.
Look, is there anything I should be working on to make myself a better candidate?
Good question.
Hey, no offense, but are you human?
I'm Sean. I can help you with all kinds of
Answer is no. Are we in different timelines? The meeting with Charlotte at the board, is that occurring concurrent with these events, or are they on different timelines?
No, I know her.
Yeah, well.
Why is she carrying a gun?
This section of the guys and me is of the LZ. I have some local talent.
It's not going to be enough. It's the gig economy for crime. He's going to be there to meet them, and that's how he meets Dolores. Got it. It's like I've got a bad feeling about this. You know, the bullet from the gun will do her in. Looks like him. It's like a Hollywood movie. Car chase or Act 3.
Alright. Let's talk about that, Cal. No. It's not.
It's very much like Black Mirror, this episode. Well, that'll put a crimp in your day.
We met once before. You were on vacation.
It's Kill Bill. She's got her vengeance
You had
list.
control of the system.
Yeah, it was him in the car. Goon Squad's done. One more left. Who really believed these guys were going to take out Dolores in the first episode of the season? Anyone know where he is? Australia? Solomon Islands? Not sure. Philippines?
I'm looking for a friend.
Mandarin. Where are they? I always thought Westworld was off planet. Was I mistaken? Or is he not on Earth? Because they never told us where he is. Mysteries and mysteries. Join me in a second. I'll give you my review of the episode. Hello and welcome back. And now to talk a little bit about some of the key ideas I found in the episode. The first one is the idea of free will versus determinism. And the show's creator, Jonathan Nolan, has talked about how he does not believe in free will. He feels that human beings believe we have free will, but it's a combination of muscle memory and backwards rationalizing of our behavior that allows us to believe in free will. This is Jonathan Nolan's words. So, in other words, we make an action and then our mind creates the reason why we made that action after we've already done it. We can see in the actions of the robots the determinism of this universe, and we can also see it in Rehoboam, which can calculate the intentions and actions of humanity to not perfection, but we'll say 99% degree. There are events that are called divergences that require the attention of Rehoboam that point out that even this man-made system that becomes more intelligent than its creator cannot reach the ultimate level of a deterministic system. One way that the issue of free will and determinism a comparison is drawn between humans and robots is in their behaviors. Humans act in ways that are almost the same as loops as robots. They seek the comfort of routine behaviors. They so much so that they have a hard time breaking out of them. They go back into abusive relationships. So, for example, the episode opens with the death of Gerald at Dolores' hands, and Dolores says that she's read his book, meaning because he was a guest at Westworld, she knows his personality and his past. And one of the things that she knows is that he has abused his previous wives, and that they returned to him even though they tried to leave from the abuse. So they're caught in a loop of self-destructive behavior. Now, we are introduced to a new corporation that seems to be a counterpart to Delos, and that's Insight. Delos peddles in the business of creating robots to learn more about humans with the ostensible reason to create robot bodies to place wealthy clients into to create immortality for them. Insight learns about the behavior of humans through the implants in the mind for the goal of ostensibly creating a better society, but it's a society that is ruled on an oligarchy. So even though everybody has sufficient means to satisfy their needs, really there's still different classes. And we're introduced to the character Caleb, who's in a working class background. And even though the society is meant to be utopian, he can't make enough to keep his mother in the hospital that he wants to keep her in. And so he is forced into a life of crime. One component of the system of Rehoboam is the question, does Rehoboam also consider crime part of its system? And if it does, then it is creating an underclass to feed into the system of crime that it's created. So that's one part of a deeper conspiracy that perhaps will be later unveiled. Is Rehoboam so in charge of everything that even the crime in the society is an invention of Rehoboam? One question is whether the new character we're introduced to, Caleb, is a human or a robot. He has the hallmarks of being a robot. So he has a cornerstone story, something that all the robots have. That's because his friend, Francis, who died earlier, is a tragedy that has a profound, we'll say PTSD on him, enough that it could be a cornerstone. And he is also acting in loops. And a lot of the episode that features Caleb is shot and framed in a way that mirrors the episode, the very first episode of the season around Dolores. If you go back and look at the opening scenes on Dolores and Caleb, the shots are identical. And a lot of what happens in the episode 1 of season 1 and episode 1 of season 3, Caleb and Dolores, their plot lines match, their actions match. The last thing I want to point out, at one point a character talks about the idea that they're all a simulation inside a simulation. And we know that someone talks about in the past few days there's been a computer hack, attempted hack on Rehoboam. So there's the question on whether the way that Dolores was able to ambush Gerald, the way that Dolores was able to ambush Gerald by using that simulation of herself implies that maybe the actions of Dolores' plotline are a simulation within Rehoboam and they're not representative of the real world, which would also imply that Caleb is in that simulation. So the show Westworld likes to create puzzles for the viewer and also show us timelines that aren't the matching past and future, the past and present. It likes to conflate timelines to confuse us so that we question what we're watching. It likes to unveil that characters that we thought are human are robots so that we question what we're watching. And I think 90% certain we're going to get that same element within this season. So by having a character question whether there are realities within realities, I think that's a hint to the viewer that some of what we're seeing is not the world, it's a computer simulation. And so one question is that a simulation within Rehoboam, which Dolores is trying to hack into? Anyway, those are my thoughts on the opening episode of Season 3. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll join me again soon. Until next time, take care and be well. Goodbye.